investigation? It's been a trying couple of days for us here at the Sheriff's Office. Myself, several members of my command staff, a lot of our CID detectives, our SCORE deputies, we've had some patrol deputies out there. We haven't been getting much sleep. We've been working pretty much around the clock on this case since we became involved in it. But earlier this weekend, Andre McDonald we became aware of a missing persons case involving her and the suspect that you just see, Andre McDonald, who's her husband. We've spent quite a bit of time. We've executed a couple of search warrants at his house. Yesterday, our moving surveillance, some of our investigators conducted a moving surveillance of this suspect when he left the house, went to a gun shop, purchased a gun and some ammunition, a lot of ammunition, in fact. They intercepted him as he was leaving the gun shop. At some point there, it looked like he got spooked. He left it so much so that he left his gun and his identification behind the gun shop. We went back to the residence, developed further information there, which prompted us to run a second search warrant at that house. Once we made entry to the house, we found some things that really quite disturbing, pretty indicative of what I believe that we're going to find. And the evidence consisted of a shovel, an axe, some heavy-duty trash bags, some work gloves, and 2 5-gallon containers of gasoline, and a burn pit, portable burn pit, burn barrel. It led us to believe that these were implements that were going to be used to dispose of a body, quite obviously to us, which really tends to drive home the point to us that we believe that Andre McDonald is no longer living. And so in conducting the search of the residence, we found a receipt where in fact he had earlier in the day purchased those items that we found. There was quite a bit of effort that went into destroying that receipt to try to prevent us seeing where it was purchased and when it was purchased. So that led us to obtain a warrant of arrest for Andre McDonald for the charge of tampering with evidence, which is a felony charge. At this point, we're bringing him here to the magistrate's office to get him booked in. We believe there's going to be a very high bond on him. If he's able to make that bond, there's going to be a condition of release with GPS and house arrest. So we're hoping, but for the time being, he's either going to be here or confined to his residence if in the event that he does make bond, which will allow us to keep investigating. At this point, today anyway, our investigation has consisted of literally scouring creek beds and drainage ditches and ravines with cadaver dogs looking for Mrs. McDonald. Every last one of us has been out there in the cold, braving the elements and conducting this physical search. That's why I'm dressed the way I am dressed. I've been out there leading one of the search parties with the cadaver dogs. And so we're hopeful that we find her very soon. We're extremely happy that we were able to get this suspect into custody and put him behind bars where he belongs. I'll open it up to questions.
Right now he's just charged with tampering with evidence.
Right now he's charged with tampering with evidence, again in trying to conceal the purchase of what we believe were going to be implements to dispose of a body.
Has he said anything?
To us, he has not said much. When we originally came into contact with him on Friday evening, he lawyered up pretty quick. He asserted his right to counsel, which he absolutely has, and but it made us a bit suspicious. Not the fact that he asserted his rights, the fact that he didn't seem to care very much at all that his wife was missing, and the fact that he just flat out refused to help us with finding her. And I think one of the most heartbreaking aspects of this case is that at the center of this is a little girl, she's 6 years old, who quite frankly speaking, for all intents and purposes, just lost 2 parents. And this little girl is autistic, mostly nonverbal. And to us, and I can't go too much into it, but to us, it's pretty evident that she saw something. She saw what happened to her mom. And that's the most heartbreaking part of this case. And so that is why, personally, I consider it an honor to be traipsing through creek beds in 40-degree weather. We owe it to the memory of Miss McDonald, if in fact she is deceased, and to this little girl, to bring some closure to this case.